it's a dog-eat-dog world, I will say, people are definitely more and more helpful.
And I will say one thing to gentlemen that are looking to get into modeling is don't feel reproachful in asking other models for help because they've been in your position once.
Hi, welcome back to HCI Podcast. Here today with Jorge Andrikovic. And here he is.
Good morning to you, Jackie. How you doing?
Good morning. So, Jorge, tell us a little bit about yourself. All our audience wants to hear all about you today, don't we?
Yeah, sure. Well, first and foremost, my background is I work in IT. So I've been in IT for 3 years.
Oh, wonderful.
And that was my pursuit. Recently, with introductions to many people like yourself, I've gone into the part-time modeling opportunities. So a lot of fashion modeling. We recently had Orlando Fashion Week. We have Orlando Fashion Week coming up this year. We have New York Fashion Week coming up next month.
That's right.
And in terms of what I do within my life, I go to the gym very often. I ski, I snowboard, go to the beach, do a lot of drone photography, videography, things like that, car shows, things like that. So I'm very much all over the place.
I see that. Boy, oh boy, he really is all. Tell us about IT.
Yeah, so a lot of people get intimidated by the idea of computers, right?
Yes.
Like there's these complex creatures, much like with their car, right? Touch anything wrong, it's going to break. Truth be told, IT is becoming easier and easier to understand. You have people as young as 10 or 11 years old. They're experts on the iPad. Absolutely. You have parents asking their kids for help with computers these days. So
yes, I actually do that. Hey, can you help me with this? Because you guys are way more intelligent on that part. How do you figure it out? Beyond me.
That's the great thing about my role is much like I did growing up when I was a kid. My parents were asking me to set up the computer at home. When it was time to find a new computer, I was the one that plugged in the monitors, the desktop, everything like that. Even just grows in where you just realize computers are really just big Lego sets to understand. And as long as you have people like us taking care of it, you'll be all good.
Can you give any recommendation out to the public on any helpful tips on the IT side?
Of course. I would recommend for anyone who wants to get in IT, start by reaching out to people who are currently in the industry. Ask them, hey, what would you recommend doing? That's a great level up, learn things piece by piece, right? Maybe start learning something as simple as how to use Microsoft Office, how to use the Windows operating system, how to reinstall an operating system. And then a great industry standard is the CompTIA A+ certification, which is how you can get your foot in industry and actually start working in IT. So if you're looking to get that hike in wage and start making at least $20 an hour or more in this industry, A+ is a great investment. It's like $140, $150 a year certification, and you get a great value out of it. So I definitely recommend for those pursuing the IT role.
Good tip.
Take those baby steps and speak with people in the industry. Don't feel like you're alone. People who are in the industry like myself love to talk nonstop about computers. So we're always happy to express and share some knowledge.
Now, is there like a group chat or something like that where someone can, if someone was interested in that?
So there isn't a particular specific group chat. However, there are a number of resources you can find online. Luis Rossman, who is an IT based out of New York City, he talks a lot about how to get into the IT industry. He talks a lot about hardware, troubleshooting, things like that. Definitely recommend him because he's a great introduction to laymen trying to get into IT.
Absolutely.
There are a few other resources online. You can find anything from Linus Tech Tips. There's a number of IT companies and honestly YouTube channels. That's a great thing about
YouTube.
Where we are now is there's a lot of influencers who are IT knowledgeable, and their goal is to bring people into the workforce. Because truth be told, it's not a zero-sum game. Right? If you bring more people in, there's not enough for work. There's so many people that need IT, so many people that need help with their computers.
Absolutely.
People like you and I that want to get computers, come on board. We're more than happy to have you.
There you go. Thank you. Because gosh, I fight with my computer sometimes, and it's always nice to know a little something or be able to go to that chat or look it up. I either Google's our best friend, or YouTube is another best friend, right?
Well, I'm going to tell you an industry
Self-learners.
secret. A little bit industry secret is majority of IT people do use Google. So
there you
when
go.
we go to the answer, we have the saying, which is if we don't know the answer, we know where to find it, right?
That's right.
And there's people like us who post the answers online. They're just like when you find an issue with your car, right?
That's right.
You look it up and someone had the same question 14 years ago and got the answer. So we're always online collaborating for those kinds of things.
Amazing. That's right. Aside from IT, young gentleman is also our model. High fashion model in New York, Orlando, all over. What's next? Maybe Paris. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so...
And how can our viewers get started if they wanted something like that?
I think that for me, it was a matter of something I didn't have on bingo card, right? Growing up, I was someone who really, for me, it was just a matter of getting my profession. No one really has the idea of, I'm going to get into fashion growing up. My sister did do modeling growing up, so she was in modeling as young as 18.
She's gorgeous.
Yes, and she's currently in New York right now, so I'll get to see her very soon. Very excited for that. But it wasn't that was for me. And, no one thinks about it as a guy, right? Because guys, the idea of fashion modeling, it's unless someone pushes you into it, it's nothing you pursue directly. So having the opportunity to meet people, designers, photographers, people who arrange these events, set up these great fashion shows, and not just meeting them, but being in a position where the right opportunity is the right time.
That's right. Very true.
I happened to spend the last few years during COVID just working myself physically, things like that. So it happened to be the right opportunity, which was they need someone who's tall and physically fit. And I lucked out.
You did.
And it's been great ever since. Everyone's been wonderful. There's this grand notion, I think, perpetuated by movies, by Hollywood, where fashion shows are very petty. There's a lot of competition. And my experience so far this last year now has been everyone's been very polite, very helpful. Models help models. Designers help models. People share industry secrets. So it's all been very fantastic. Everyone's on the same trajectory in helping each other.
I believe things have changed. From back in the days, people used to it was that cliche where it was backstabbers that they all wanted to be in front of the camera. But now things have really changed. Everyone's more helpful. They want to help each other, motivate each other. It's not about me, me, me. It's about let's do this together. And that makes things much, much better.
I definitely feel so. And I didn't have the luxury of seeing what the industry was like in the past, of course.
It was definitely different.
I'll take your word for it.
Definitely
and I believe it because I think everyone appreciates how kind everyone is now in the industry.
Ever so pleasant. I mean, although it's a dog-eat-dog world, I will say, people are definitely more and more helpful. They're more willing to give you more advice because now you have social media. People talk about it. Before, we didn't have all that. And now we have it. So people are more easier to give you some more advice or ways of walking or how to act in front of the camera. So it's much, much easier than it used to be.
I believe it. And I will say the one thing that definitely lends into it with the advent of social media is I'm not sure what it was like back in the 90s or 2000s where you had your opportunity to model, you met other models, and then how do you really keep in touch, right?
Right.
Email, phone calls. Now with social media, it's a matter of it's a pleasure casting with you. Here's our social media. We'll keep in touch, and that's how other models I've met, really great models like the model that you had on your podcast recently, Imen.
I've had several.
She's had an opportunity to reach out to me for opportunities for other castings. I've reached out to her.
That's right.
And everyone's just very pleasant and helpful. And I will say one thing to gentlemen that are looking to get into modeling is don't feel reproachful in asking other models for help because they've been in your position once. Much like if you're new to the gym, you feel hesitant to ask other people for guidance or help or advice. Someone at the gym who's been there for 2 years has been in your position first, right? Where they're brand new. They see themselves in you and they want to help you. I see that with every person I meet.
That's correct. That's correct. What has led you to all this? What changed you?
For me, it was a matter of self-esteem. I did a lot of IT, and IT is a very introverted role.
That's what I was just going to tell you. It's a very introverted role. Absolutely, because you went from an introvert to now an extrovert. That's huge. It's a big leap.
I was an extrovert growing up. It's just because of the advent of COVID, I think it listened to a lot of people opportunistically to have those interactions. So I worked from home for 3 years with IT. Okay. So being able to kind of get on my shell after 3 years of work from home, go to the gym, repeat. And then having the opportunity after COVID to actually enter these opportunities, kind of get out into the world, get outside for a little bit.
Yes.
It's definitely been a confidence booster. I will say as a young man is if you're looking to get into modeling, everyone will boost your confidence because they're here to help you, level you up.
That's right.
They'll gas you up. They'll motivate you. They'll bring something out of you that you didn't even expect out of yourself. And I've gotten only pleasant experiences from everyone in terms of that.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful because you did go from one extreme to another, and that's great. And what else changed you?
I want to say what definitely changed was, as you know, I'm your client, so
I know.
I will definitely say what's led to it has been the hair.
Hair, guys.
I've really liked the system. I know that I implemented the system last year in, I believe it was October now. So it's been here for a few months. I've really enjoyed it. It's definitely lent into my confidence. It's definitely lent into the modeling.
That's right.
And it's not as though it's something people see as something you live with despite, right? I like it. I use it every day. It's something that people expect of me now. It wasn't too different as I wore my hair before, but my hair was definitely receding and thinning, and it's something that I'm experiencing since I was in my young 20s. It was a matter of, I grew up being a lifeguard, so for 3 years in the heat, not taking care of my hair, that does damage to your scalp. That does damage to your follicles, and that's irreparable at that point. It's not a matter of genetics. It's just that was a situation. But even on my family side, I knew the receding hairline was going to happen eventually.
Right.
It just happened sooner to me.
Yes.
So I know that's very difficult for a lot of young men to deal with.
It is. Very much so.
You have your hair growing up, through high school, it's just there. Maybe not even, some gentlemen don't get as lucky as high school. But for those that are lucky enough to keep it through high school, they're through 20s, and then the receding hairline or thinning begins. Whether it's genetic, whether it's a medical concern, whether it is something that is a result of not taking care of your hair properly, taking it for granted, eventually catches up with you. And it can be hard for a lot of young gentlemen because it ages you a lot quicker.
That is correct.
And it can harm your confidence a little bit. And I know we're in this day and age where people do say, a lot about positivity, accepting yourself as you are, but it can be hard for gentlemen where it's a matter of, well, I know that what my hair should look like. I know what I used to have, or I know what it should look like. What can I do? And I will say that I've loved this. Close friends and family really like it on me because my hair did look like this at one point. And
I love it.
For a lot of young gentlemen that are kind of on the fence about doing this, I will say that there are people like me walking amongst you who have this, and you probably won't even notice that it's a system.
That is correct. They would not notice that it's other than your own natural hair.
Right.
Because it looks ever so natural on you. And we mimicked the same style he had prior to even getting hair. The only difference, we gave him the same density on the sides. A lot of times you start thinning out on the top, you lose a lot of density, but the density on your sides still remain the same. And that's considered male pattern baldness. Women too suffer from male pattern baldness. And that's what we're here for, to talk about, suffering from that hair loss or hair problem or a condition of any sort, that people like Jorge, it changed his life. Because imagine if he waited, and he's still in his 20s, imagine if he would have continued to live his day-to-day life. He might have stayed introverted, just like his IT job, but it allowed him to change, to be out there and expose him, handsome, tall, young man, to be out there and become that model that he is now. Who knows what job he'll land now on top of this. Next might be Paris. Look out, Paris, because here he is, I mean, that's excellent. I love to hear stories within our own, our own company, because that to me is more gratifying, to know that I changed your life in that little bit. That hair does make a world of difference, because I know what it did for me. Because without my hair, without my daily crown, I don't think I'd be the person that I am today. And that is a true fact, because that is who I am today. And everybody sees me as this gorgeous blonde hair. And I can't thank HCI for it on a daily. Just like you, I'm sure.
Most definitely. And it's definitely lent into that. There's been interactions that I wouldn't have anticipated if I didn't have this system. And I would tell young gentlemen, you do so many things for yourself. You buy good clothes. You work on your body. There's things you can do within your scope of control, right?
That's correct.
You have control over how you dress. You have control over going to the gym, getting yourself in shape for being the best version of yourself. What you don't have control oftentimes is a genetic predisposition to male pattern baldness or receding hairline. Like, there's no machine at the gym to exercise your hair. Once it begins to leave, unfairly or not, at that point it's a matter of, well, what do I deserve? And just like you deserve a good body, you deserve a good closet of fashion, you definitely deserve a good hairline, you definitely deserve nice hair. You deserve something that just completes the look. And if you've already put so much effort into everything else, it's like having a beautiful Porsche 911.
Right?
Would you skimp out on not getting the nicest tires if you already had the rest of the car set up?
Not at all.
I would say definitely don't sit on the fence about it. I like it. I've got a lot of interactions. I know what a lot of male audience are going to ask, which is what kind of interactions those are. And I was surprised by how much attention I got from women and men alike. Because a lot of men do come up to you and say, hey, I like how your hair looks. But a lot of women, they notice the hair, the clothes, everything.
They notice the whole package. It's
yes,
just not the one part. It's the whole package.
The whole package. And that surprised me a lot was the amount of approaching, right? A lot of men don't anticipate that when they get the hair done. But once you get the hair, you dress nice and everything, it looks youthful, it looks energetic. And you'd be surprised how much hair lends into what people complete about their perception of you. It really does.
That is correct.
And it boosts your confidence because it feels younger. I was being told as young as 25, 26 that I was starting to look like 30, 31. And
it happens a lot, though.
Yes, it does. I remember walking up with my younger brother, and someone asked me if I was his father. So I was like, wow, the hair, how I'm dressing, it just communicates a level of age to people. And then now that I have this, I should probably let the audience know I was 27 when we started talking about this system. Now I'm 28. And 28. Although my intention was never to look younger, my intention was just to look my age. And I'd like to think I look my age.
That's all they ever want to do, because we get many clients. Actually, our youngest client, male client, is actually 18 years old. And he was asked if he was older, and he didn't like that. And he would get approached by older women. So this 18-year-old was getting approached by probably 30-year-old women. And not that he wasn't flattered in any way, but he wanted to someone more his age, which I totally understand. But same with you. I'm sure you wouldn't want someone that's a 40-year-old or 50-year-old approaching you when you really were only 27 years old, or younger than that, but you did it at 27. So I feel like, you did the right thing. You did the right choice. I
believe so too. And, not that I don't enjoy the occasional attention from older women.
Exactly.
But I will definitely say, yeah, it is nice to feel attracted to women my age or younger again.
Yeah.
And the girl I was dating at the time, when I got this system, she liked how my hair looked. But when I got this system, she liked it a lot more. And she communicated that even
very
now.
Attracted
she said she loves the hair. A lot of people said they like the hair. And if a lot of the male audience's concern is, what will my friends and family think about it? Well, I think that it's, am I being an imposter for this kind of hair? It's a matter of no. You're not an imposter for improving yourself. You're not an imposter for becoming a better version of yourself and pursuing what you feel you're entitled to. Because every young man's entitled to having hair that makes him look his age. Every young man deserves to feel his age, to go through those life experiences where they are their age. And to miss out on that's truly unfair. So for those young men that are much younger than I am, on the fence about it, I've had nothing but pleasant experiences. I've had opportunities open up that I was never even aware. I was leading sales rep for my company at one point because the hair, the usefulness, the attitude, the confidence that comes with it. I was one of the top 3 sellers for my company at the time because just the confidence boost from that.
That is correct. Confidence booster. That's exactly what it is. When you feel great, your performance level is to the top. And, many can talk about it. Many can say, hey, I feel great, but not look the whole part. Trust me, it shows in your production. And I'm not saying it because of the fact that I'm in the industry. Honestly, if I wasn't in this industry, I'd be paying to get this hair to look like this, because then I actually perform much better and I feel great about myself, right?
I do.
And that's what we should tell the world, because anybody who is actually suffering, they should do something about it. We have that joke where they're like, oh, I'm fine. I'll just shave my head and be bald. But to be honest, those are the most insecure people out there, because not everybody looks great being bald. Now, I'll change that. There are some people that have the perfect head that actually look great being bald. But then there's those that just shave because they want to shave, because they don't want to wear something, but honestly, they're the first ones that actually need it, to be honest, because there's people that look wonderful bald. Let's name a few actors.
Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis looked great. Another one is The Rock.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson. He continues to rock that look.
He is just super.
Jason Statham, the list
and
goes on.
we can go on. But then there's those that really don't. They have no business shaving their head bald. I'm sorry. And they should be looking exactly how you look.
I will say for those that do shave their heads, is for those that do genuinely commit to the look, maybe
Yes.
gentlemen that do want that rugged look, I appreciate it. Some men, they're made for that look.
That is true. I do too. Don't get me wrong. I like the bald look, but I'm the right person.
Right.
I'm the right person.
I don't want a gentleman to feel as though he has to shave his head out of desperation. And what I mean is a man who says, well, my hair's receding, it's patchy. I have no choice but to shave it because that's what people expect me to do.
Yes.
People don't expect me to get a system. People don't expect me to get the hair that I'm supposed to have because they worry that they're going to be an imposter of people. In much the same way that someone who's very introverted, the day they decide, you know what, I'm going to be an extrovert, they worry that their friends are going to call them out and say, you're an imposter, we know you're not an extrovert, right? That kind of holding you back from making the changes that make you a happier person. And I will say the people in your life, for me, it's been my family, my friends, my loved ones. They've liked the system. They support me with it. They know I'm happier with it. And they know that...
And you look great in it.
Thank you. And it contributes to my overall lifestyle. So it's not as though I'm being an imposter with it. It's the hair I deserve. It's the hair that I had from the very beginning. Exactly. It's the hair I would have from the very beginning. So young men, they're worried about that. I don't want to say just young men. Men who are approaching their 30s, younger 30s.
30s and 40s.
If it's the hair that you're entitled to, and it's the hair that you had and want to look your age, go for it. People who care about you will support it, and they'll love to see that you're confident. People want the best for you.
That's correct. And that's so cliche from back in the days where people said, well, that looks like a toupee. The toupee is a day of the past. It's no longer a toupee. It actually is called what?
System.
That's correct. Or hair addition. It's a hair system. It's applied thin membrane. So very, very thin. He looks like, he doesn't look like he's wearing it. Totally natural, guys. Those days are over. The toupee from back, Joe Pesci, when he would remove it, remember those days? That's in the past. They don't even make those anymore. I don't even think. I mean, if you were on it, something like that, it would be considered like a wig. And for the women out there, same. The wigs are wigs. This is not something that your lifestyle is different. Wigs are made for someone that is needing a prosthetic or something like that for the scalp due to a condition. But those days of wigs, people are too active to wear wigs. The only ones that don't wear that would wear something like that would be someone with a condition. But wigs are things of the past. Now they're more fitted to your scalp and more permanent. So anyone out there, to all our viewers, seek out a facility like myself, HCI Hair Solutions, because guess what? There's so many new technology, new systems, new everything out there for you. The days of wigs and a toupee are over. Look at him and look at myself. There's extensions. My gosh, if you wanted extensions for all those models or for anyone who just wants the volume. But make sure you go to the right location to get those extensions, because extensions are just not meant to be put on just anybody. And a system's not made to just be put on anybody. It's the right one. So the perfect thing to do is what? Seek the right location to find that. Right?
And I only have singing praise for your location. I'm sure every location is very helpful, but my experience of the year so far, the staff is very helpful. Everyone from, just name a few, Josh, Vanessa, Karen, everyone I've had an opportunity to work with for this system have been wonderful. And you're right, it's a membrane. It's very thin. I live with it day to day. A lot of people are.
And he slicks his hair back just like I do. And you feel great. You shower in the shower. You do everything just like everyone else can in their own house with their own natural hair, right?
A lot of people is concerned where they're going to live their life despite the system. And I don't live that way. I live and the system just falls along for the ride.
That's right.
Everything I do that I did before, I just came back from a ski trip, right? So going downhill 20 miles an hour, I just recently got a convertible. And
wow.
with the top down.
Tell everybody about the convertible.
Very excited about it. It's actually in the shop right now finishing its suspension replacement. So it'll be
exciting.
Speeding ready in a few days. But it was never a concern of, well, is having the top down going to impact the system? The answer is no. It's healthy. It's safe. It's not whipping in the wind. The days of toupee are long past, so it's not a matter of worrying about flying away. The way you guys apply the system and the way you guys have us come in every so often to rejuvenate it, making sure it's healthy, making sure it's staying safe on us, right?
That's right.
It all lends into a lifestyle where it's along for the ride. You wash your hair the same you do. You style your hair the same way you always do. You forget it's there, truth be told. In fact, the only reminder that it's there is you just remembering it's there. Otherwise, it's just along. You feel no pressure. It's people have this notion that's a wig because wigs do have weight to them because they're not real hair. Wigs have the big rubber thing on them. This is a thin membrane. It's soft hair. It's real hair. You don't feel it. Even now, I don't feel it. You touch it. You put your fingers through it. I can press it. It feels like I'm touching my scalp. It feels like my real hair.
Exactly.
And because the membrane's so thin, and for a lot of people, it could be this experience, even just touching the hair, because the sensation is so soft, you feel it on your scalp. The nerves are just that sensitive. So it's there along for the ride. Wally, love it. I've only had good experiences with it.
Thank you. I'm so glad. This is great for all our viewers. I'm sure they're going to love it. We'll have a lot of feedback, I'm sure, but great because, we've given nothing but the truth to them.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Jorge, for being here and allowing us to actually do a podcast on you and giving all your great information. Why don't you share your social media where they can follow you? Should they have any questions, they can maybe reach out to you? Yeah,
of course. If anyone wants to reach out to me, my Instagram handle is JJ_A, and it's Nancy, D as in Delta, REKOVICH. That's JJ Intrikovic. And if you want to reach out for any opportunities, if you want to network, if you have questions about the system or about modeling or anything coming up, any events coming up, feel free to reach out. And if you have any questions about what this system is and what's offered, I'll have to refer you, Jackie. Jackie's always happy to bring on new people that are excited to have this kind of system because it is something that is life-changing. I really appreciate it. I'm more than happy and proud to continue to advocate for it.
Thank you. And thank you to all our viewers.